You want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
You can't handle the truth!
Well, we're giving you the Michigan Sports Truth, the show that detects, exposes, and reveals actual and hidden facts, truth, research, and statistics about all the Detroit and Michigan sports teams that the mainstream media doesn't want you to know, whether fans like it or not. No junk, no entertainment, no homerism, no coddling, no pop culture, no opinions, no shilling, and no fluff. Head over to our website at michigansportstruth.weebly.com, follow us on Twitter at Michigan_truth, and like our Facebook page, The Michigan Sports Truth. Also listen to us on Spreaker, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts via iTunes. The Michigan Sports Truth podcast does not represent or defame any of the teams it covers. It only detects, exposes, and reveals honest, actual, and hidden truth, facts, and statistics about them.
And welcome to episode 325 of the Week in Review. I'm Taylor Phillips along with Buck Geno. We're gonna decide to continue on with the Week in Review editions. Follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips. Follow Buck Geno on Twitter at BuckGeno3, 3 I's for Roman numerals. Not very much to cover, but we're going to go deeper on the topics that I discussed in the special report edition. First off, former Red Wings defenseman and front office advisor Chris Chelios leaving the Red Wings organization permanently to be with his family. His mother has been in very poor health, like you pointed out, off the air. His father had already passed away, like Frank Vazner pointed out. You can follow him on Twitter at Frank_Vazner. And Chelly just needs to attend to his family big time. And good for him. And another reason I would come up with is Chelly is probably tired of helping this sinking ship in the Red Wings organization as it continues to either be stuck in mediocrity or sink even further down.
Well, there's a lot of things that are going on. Obviously, his parents' health is declining. Shelley himself is older, which means his parents are older, and that tends to make for people that have health problems. As you get older, that's part of getting older. So he wants to be closer to his family. He's been going back and forth between Detroit and Chicago to be with his family and try to get that situation aligned. The amount of time that he has to give the organization. When you're talking about Chris Chelios, he's a guy that if he can't do the job, he's not going to do it. And what I mean by that is he doesn't feel that he can give the organization the time that they deserve from him while he's on the payroll. So it doesn't have anything to do. It doesn't have anything to do necessarily with what he feels he can or can't do. The fact that he just doesn't have the time to give right now. So that said, he's going to step away. It's really disappointing. In a couple of respects. Number one, obviously, a Hall of Fame guy that the younger players can get instruction from. But the second thing is that they actually signed the Red Wings organization signed his son Jake Chelios to a minor league deal this year. So he was actually going to get a chance to really be a mentor towards his son, and his son who's now with the organization. Is not going to be able to do that with Chris Chelios because he'll be out of the organization. So that's kind of an unfortunate byproduct. But Chris Chelios has expressed a desire the last couple of years to really wind down his role. And this is not something that I would say is a surprise. It's just more the fact that he felt he finally had to make the move. And doing it in the summer is a lot easier than doing it in the season, so he steps away from his advisor role, and he'll be in Chicago with his family and try to get all of that situation taken care of. So, like I said, it's really unfortunate for him just because the organization signed his son to a minor league deal. Chances to work with him much more closely, not only as a son but as a player. That opportunity, unfortunately, goes by the wayside. I'm sure that he'll still be around, but it'll be in a significantly reduced role. More of a kind of a, really just kind of as a somebody that's watching the game and able to pass on certain things, but not as a full-blown advisor as the position he had occupied earlier. So, that said, the Detroit Red Wings typically have guys on their staff that are ex-players, and I'm sure that they'll be able to drum somebody up relatively quickly if they want to fill that role.
Absolutely. So, transitioning to college hockey, I heard on 9 and 10 News up in my area in Cadillac that Ferris State Bulldogs hockey goaltender Darren Smith was arrested for sexual assault and faces 3 counts of first-degree criminal sexual assault. He's bonded from jail, but now must wear a GPS teether. He's going to have a preliminary hearing as soon as a little bit later this week. So he's probably going to get he's definitely going to get cut. This is going to go to Title IX, of course, but almost to Title IX, except that female was not an athlete. But he's in trouble.
Well, he's in trouble now. There's a lot of different things. Number one, it was an off-campus incident. So what's going to happen here now is that the Costa County Sheriff's Department and everybody else has to get involved. This is not a campus matter per se, which means that it's a little bit more complicated when it comes to discipline from the school. If it had happened on school grounds, it probably is a little bit easier to administer to because those are pretty cut and dry guidelines. So when it's off campus, now it becomes a matter of the court first, and then after those proceedings have taken place, that's when the school then can get involved, and that's where it gets tricky because if he goes through the process, which Coach Bob Daniels most likely will do, we'll let him go through the process and see what happens. If indeed he is not convicted, if he is either acquitted or he is not even if he's not even brought to trial, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult to assess what they're going to do for the punishment because there wasn't anything that happened that by law is a criminal offense, and this is a little bit similar to the Matt Patricia situation in its infancy with regards to the fact that you have somebody that says this happened. You have the goalie Darren Smith who's been accused, and now he's going to have the right to face his accuser if there's indeed enough evidence to bring this to trial. And it'll be interesting to see how that pans out because you have something that happened. This is still very rudimentary as far as my understanding is of the cases. Obviously, there's not a lot being circulated in the media about it right now because there's an ongoing investigation. So there's probably a lot of tight lips and no comments right now from all the parties involved. But that said, like I said, you have somebody that is going to go through the criminal process first, and then after that goes through whatever the result is, then Coach Bob Daniels and his staff have a decision to make. Because if they go ahead and just say, well, he's off the team and he's not going to come back, they can't just do that because he was accused of something. Because if it's shown that he indeed was not in the wrong, or if there's not enough evidence to show that he was wrong, that's a tough look for the school to get rid of a guy that in the court of law was exonerated. At the same time, I would expect him to be playing for the Bulldogs. I would imagine they'll probably just say, well, he's not going to play, he's not going to take part in any activities, but he's not off the team per se. He's not losing his scholarship and all those other things that come with being an athlete. So this is going to be a little bit of a process. But this is where it gets sticky when you talk about athletic discipline, standards for athletes. You have a guy that did something with another student in an off-campus location, which means that it doesn't fall under the purview of the university to start with. Now, obviously, there are some things within the guidelines that because they're two students at the same university, Ferris is going to get involved in that way. But when it comes to the criminal proceedings and the punishments and everything else, that's going to happen through the county first. That's going to happen through the regular, so I want to say, legal channels. And then the university is going to get their chance at bat. And a lot of that's going to be determined by what the university can see from what happened in the criminal proceedings. So this is going to take a little bit of time. It's obviously inopportune. You're in July. There's not any guys floating around looking to play college hockey at this point that don't have a team, typically. Most teams carry 3 goaltenders so that you have some injury coverage as well as getting some reps for some guys that are kind of like a red shirt, except for that they're just not playing. They're using eligibility, but they're not playing. So 3 goalies usually on a roster. It drops you down to 2 right away. They have one guy who split time with Smith last year that could shoulder the load, but they have a freshman backup at this point. So that leaves them a little bit thin at that position. They were a middling team last year, returning some guys that did some good things for them. They're hoping to be a little bit more competitive in the WCHA this year as compared to last year. But this is just not a good timing because it's going to be hard to really replace what amounted to their starting or number 1 goalie from last season. He played the bulk of the games, or the majority of the games. And that's just not something you just throw somebody else in and say, well, it's your job now, and everything's going to be fine. So we'll see what happens in Big Rapids. It'll be something to watch for. But it's just interesting with all these types of cases. And now that we're more aware of it, just because of the things like Michigan State, Penn State, all these other things that have happened in Baylor, I could go down the list. But now that we're made more aware of these types of situations on university campuses, it goes a lot more. It goes under a lot more scrutiny for not only the accused, but also the accuser, because both sides are trying to make their case, and it gets a little bit more messy now because there's more press coverage. It's just a natural reaction. It's part of the news cycle now. That when things like this happen, even on a smaller scale, when you're talking about a school like Ferris State, it's under the microscope, and it'll be interesting to see how this progresses, and we'll see what happens when they finally get to a decision. Like I said, the court's got to get done with it first. We know that they're sometimes not the fastest government body, but I'm sure that they have. I think you mentioned a pretrial hearing or something else had already taken place, so or maybe it was arraignment. I haven't paid attention 100% there, but it's already underway. So we should hear some things sooner rather than later. But once that's done, Ferris has got a big decision to make, especially if the court finds him not guilty, or at least not enough evidence to convict. It may not be a not guilty because he makes a convincing case. It might be not guilty because the other person couldn't convince the jury otherwise. So all of that said, should be interesting to see. And it's just another incident on a college campus when this happens. And when you're talking about time and place, there's never a time and place for sexual assault, but with the way that it's in the news now, definitely a lot more attention going to be brought to bear.
And speaking of which, that brings us to our segment, Guilty or Not Guilty.
We, the jury, in the embarrassing title action, find the defendant
guilty or not guilty.
A little early to tell on that one, not enough information. going to say if you're guilty of one thing, if he's guilty of one thing, Darren Smith is guilty of putting his team in a bad spot, regardless of what's happening here, whether he actually did commit a crime or not. All of this stuff is not happening at a good time. Like I said, it's middle to end of July. Guys that are playing college hockey are playing college hockey. They're not just floating around waiting to get a call from a team that doesn't have a goalie. So that can't happen. It's pretty easy to get somebody to transfer in, depending on where they're playing and what their situation is. But it's more the fact that they're going to be coming in with virtually no time to acclimate themselves to the surroundings. Season starts in less than 4 months, and we got to get on campus, got to get everything going, got to get practicing with the guys. It'll be a tough situation. I'm sure that if Darren Smith is not on the team, they'll be getting somebody. It just depends on who or where they're coming from. And, so guilty of putting his team in a bad spot is really the only crime that I can convict Darren Smith of right now.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So, we're going to transition to college basketball.
For three, yes, sir!
The Michigan Wolverines men's basketball team has signed head coach John Beilein to a 5-year extension through 2023. And it was well deserved. John Beilein, although he never won a national title for the Wolverines, he made 2 national championship game appearances, and he's been a great coach for them, best since the 80s. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that we figured would happen after the dalliance with the Pistons and talking to them. Some people thought that John Beilein was posturing and trying to get Ward Manuel to give him an extension right then and there. I don't think John Beilein is that type of guy. I don't think that Ward Manuel thought that. I think that was more the media's imagination running wild and trying to make sense of why John Beilein, fresh off an NCAA Final Four appearance and actually title game appearance, would entertain going to the NBA, especially at his age. He's not a young guy. And number 2, with what he had coming back off of a title contending team. I mean, Mo Wagner's gone and Duncan Robinson's gone, who are both right now on NBA rosters. But it's very difficult for me to believe that John Beilein did all those administrations with the Pistons just so he could get a few extra dollars from the university. I'm thinking he was genuinely interested. Whether or not the Pistons were genuinely interested, people say they were. Maybe they were just trying to see kind of a plan B if Wayne Casey turned them down, or if something happened. It's not really meant to diminish John Beilein because he's a fantastic coach. I just think the Pistons were exploring their options. And, it gave them a little bit of extra juice in the state of Michigan as far as some media coverage because of the meetings with John Beilein. So, I'm not going to say that they were doing it as a sham, but it didn't hurt that they talked to John Beilein, gave them some more visibility. Didn't hurt John Beilein, gave him a little bit more credence because the NBA team wanted to talk to him. So, all of those things put together, John Beilein, he loves his job at Michigan. He doesn't want to go anywhere else. And he's been extended through 2023. Ward Manuel was working on the extension when he was even talking to the Pistons. I mean, this is not something that just happened yesterday. This is something that had been discussed for some time. It's just that they hadn't had time to really go over the particulars. And it's finally been able to be done. And so John Beilein will be the coach for the foreseeable future for the Michigan Wolverines. And my guess is it's timed out just right. Beilein should be 70, I believe it is, by the end of his contract obligations. And for a 70-year-old guy, retirement might be on the horizon. So it gives Beilein basically one more kick at the can, so to speak. They'll have 5 more recruiting classes, or I should say 4, really. But to having one more kick at the can and trying to get that national championship to Ann Arbor. And after the end of those 5 years, if I was a betting man, I would say that my bet would be for him to retire after that. He'll be 70, like I said. College basketball is a nasty business for guys that are 35, much less double that age. So we'll see what happens. But for now, Michigan retains its coach, and he gets a well-deserved extension. And Ward Manuel seals up that hole, so to speak, in the dam, and plugs that one and onto the next one.
Yep.
Pencils down, everyone. It's time to find out what's your grade.
So we've hit the What's Your Grade segment now. What's your grade on the Beilein extension, Buck?
Boy, I would really be hard-pressed to give it anything but an A. It's like I said, it works out perfectly as far as time frame, 5 years, which is if you have a redshirt senior, guys that are staying for all 4 years plus one, he gets one more shot at those guys. Not that it happens very often, but Beilein is the guy that tends to get guys to come to his team that stay a little bit longer than normal, where they have their leverage. That's why they're able to play so well in the tournament typically, because they have a lot of experience. They have guys with games under their belt. So my expectation is that John Beilein will potentially retire after that 5-year extension is complete. But it gives Michigan what they wanted. It gives John Beilein what he wanted. There's not anybody that's sad about this at all. So there's really nothing bad to say about it. So I'm going to give it an A.
And that's our What's Your Grade segment. So for our audience, if they have a grade for that event, post that in the comment bank in this episode, and please don't go out of line.
That one is long gone.
Tigers take only one of the 3-game series against the Red Sox. They take Saturday's game 5-0. They lose 1-0 in a pitcher's duel. Saturday, Mike Fiers pitches a gem. 6 1/3. Improves to 7-6. There was an article reading that Mike Fiers could be on the market. And then Sunday, the Red Sox just had their way, like we expected. Chris Sale does what he does best. Not only does he own the Tigers, but he, as local Tiger fans would say, but he's a hell of a pitcher. He's an all-star pitcher. He does very well against all opposing teams. And the Red Sox ended up winning that one 9-1. Blaine Hardy only lasted 3 innings. Gave up quite a few of those 9 runs. Not all of them, but he lasted three innings. I wonder if he got injured or something like that.
Well, you get a guy that, in Blaine Hardy, he's relatively new to the starting game. He gets stretched out in Toledo. The Tigers called him up to be a spot starter. That's what he is at this point. So he's got 3 innings under his belt. He wasn't getting a lot of effective pitches over the plate at that point because of the way that Fiers had pitched in the game before. The bullpen was relatively rested. You're coming off the All-Star break, so you've got guys that probably haven't thrown in almost a week that are ready to go. And so why not get those guys to work? You're playing against a team that is 13-2 that's last 15 games now at the top of the American League, Boston Red Sox. Blaine Hardy comes out there, can't get a lot of guys out. There's no reason to just keep throwing him out there and sacrifice him when you have guys in the bullpen that are fresh and that can go. Now, it's not possible that you have to pitch your bullpen 6 innings in a Sunday game, but Blaine Hardy just didn't have it today and threw a lot of pitches. And for a guy that's still on the cusp of stretching out to be a full-time starter, don't want to overextend him and put him on the DL, because then that really defeats the purpose of what you're trying to do. So they took Blaine Hardy out, put the bullpen in, let them finish up the game. Tigers couldn't hit. They couldn't hit almost all of the series there. They did pick up a couple of runs, but as you mentioned, the 1-0 loss on Friday. So scoring 2 runs in their 2 losses usually spells doom if you're scoring 2 runs in 2 games. So kind of back to normal with the Tigers, the up and down. As you mentioned, I think probably the key to this weekend is, as you mentioned, articles about Mike Fiers being potentially trade bait or whatever you want to call that term. I think it's very likely that he gets traded. It just depends on what the team wants to give the Detroit Tigers in return and what they're going to use him for. I don't know if the team could use him as a starter, because if you're picking up a guy who's a starter at this point and you're in contention, I don't know if he's better than any of the guys on the staffs of the teams that are competing for the playoffs. But he can be a long relief guy. He can be a guy that, maybe you got a hole for injury in your 4 or 5 spot, and you want to plug that up with Mike Fiers, and then in the playoffs you do or don't use him. So really what that says to me is the role that he's going to take on the team that is looking to trade for him. That's going to determine his return. So if some team's looking to plug him as a starter ASAP right away, then maybe the return's a little bit higher. If it's going to be more of a stopgap situation or an emergency type of thing, maybe your return's a little bit lower because you're not getting as much mileage out of the player. So that'll be interesting to watch, but I definitely think with that performance, I'm sure there's a couple of teams that their ears or eyes perked up and said, boy, it'd be nice if we had him instead of this other bum that we have right now that's barely getting through the 5th inning. So
Matt Boyd.
That's something to watch. So I definitely think that Mike Fiers could be. I don't know about Francisco Liriano. I think that was the reason the Tigers did pick him up, obviously, was to move him to the trade deadline.
He's long in the tooth.
I just don't think he's going to be effective enough to get you a whole lot.
No.
The team might take a flyer on him just to throw in the bullpen. He started off very strong this season, but he's tailed off considerably. As you mentioned, he's pretty long in the tooth. The other thing you have to remember is a guy for his age, he pitched very early on. He was a young guy when he came up through the major leagues through the Twins organization. So threw a lot of pitches, had some arm problems because of that, and some other things. So he's advanced in his age regardless, but he's got a lot of miles, and I think that the Tigers got about as much as they could out of him, and he's really kind of gone off the deep end here in the last couple of months, and has struggled to get guys out at times, and that's part of getting older is your effectiveness goes, and you have to use other pitches and get better location and whatnot. And after a while, there's only so much you can do before you figure out that it's just not working anymore. And Francisco Liriano right now, perhaps at that stage where it's just getting to the end. There's only so many pitches you can throw in, so many locations you can put it in. He's just the last 2 months has really been tough for him. So it would surprise me if they got any significant offers for him. He might still go, but it'll be probably a low-level prospect in return simply because he's going to be a bullpen guy. He's going to be your 7th-inning bridge guy, or if there's a left-handed heavy lineup, you bring him in middle relief to get through those guys. So other than that, it's really going to be interesting to see as we tick down to the trade deadline and what names we start to hear floating around. And for the Tigers, continuing to lose games means you're farther out of first, means that you have more guys that you should probably be able to trade. and start to thin the herd a little bit as the season winds down to a close. Mike Fiers, Lariano, Nick Castellanos going to be a Tiger in 10 days. People don't know that. It's not 100% given that he's going to be a Tiger in 10 days. Is it a distinct possibility? Absolutely, but it's not a given. And
right, it's defense. We discussed that last week.
Yeah, there's a couple other guys that they might be able to get to shop around. But Al Avila, his job is not to win games this year. His job is to build back the roster, build up the farm system, draft, do all the things that he can do. Al Avila at the minor league level or in viewing prospects is very good. Putting together a major league roster and making trades at the major league level, that's something that he doesn't do well. But general managers don't just run the major league ball club. Obviously, they have their minions out and about throughout the minor leagues, but Al Avila is not the only guy. Or is not the only person looking at these minor leaguers. But that is what his forte is. He came up as a scout in the Dodgers organization. So, that's something that he does well. And, the panned trade of J.D. Martinez, some of the trades he pulled off last year when it came time to start the house cleaning, people really thought that he should have been able to get more. Heimer Candelario, I think, has probably been a little bit of a pleasant surprise for people that were down on Al Avila's return. The best trade he had was the one where he traded his own son and Justin Wilson to the Cubs. That's the one that paid the most dividends this year. So, as far as what the return was and what those guys are going to do, that remains to be seen. But for the Tigers, coming off the All-Star break, they didn't have any momentum going into the break, and they sure as hell don't have any coming out of this series. So we're looking at deadline things and seeing who's going to be still wearing a Tigers uniform in 10 days. And, it's tough. It's going to be something that bears watching because it really depends on what teams are going to be desperate. Are guys getting hurt? Are guys not performing well and haven't really snapped out of a season-long funk? The A's, I think, made the first big move. They traded for the Mets' Chelios, who was their closer. So the A's go get a closer. And as soon as that first trade gets made, whether it be today, whether it be a week from now, whatever it is, once we get close to the deadline, that first trade, that's when everybody's phone starts lighting up because then they know who's ready to go, who's making a bid, who's trying to do what. So the Tigers and Al Avila, his phone should be ringing considerably more than it was a week ago. Now that first trade has been made, people are starting to posture and trying to figure out what they can get and who, or what they need to send out to get what they covet in return. It'll be an interesting 10 days, and we'll find out here. But as I mentioned at the beginning of this, Mike Fiers really did a nice job on Saturday. Definitely bumped up his stock, and I'm sure he's got one more start, so that'll be the 28th, right? Yeah, so he'll be the 27th, which will put him squarely in the spotlight right before the trade deadline. And for a team that's looking to add either a back-end rotation guy or a long relief guy who can get you through some rough patches if he needed to.
Yep. But at the same time, Chris Ilitch deserves every loss, as the Tigers dip down to 42-59. Third place in the American League Comedy Central, 13.5 games back of the Cleveland Indians, who lost to the Texas Rangers 5-0 at Globe Life Park earlier today. Tigers at the Kansas City Royals Monday at 8:15, a 3-game series before taking Thursday off. The Royals are 30-68. They're last in the American League Comedy Central, 24 games back. But not only are they coming off a 5-3 win at home over the Minnesota Twins earlier today, the last time the Tigers visited the Royals at Kauffman Stadium, the Royals took 3 of 4 from May 3rd through the 6th. And the Tigers are 16-34 on the road this year. The Royals still have a chance to put another beat down on the Tigers as they welcome them into Kauffman Stadium, and this deserves another blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I mean, the Tigers are just not very good on the road.
Bad.
They've had years where they've been bad at home. I remember a couple of those years. So, but yeah, just atrocious on the road this year. As you mentioned, 16-34.
That is a 4.705 winning, a 4.706 winning percentage. That's a 4.71 winning percentage. Oh wait, I'm sorry. That's not it. 34 plus 16 divided by 50. That's a 320 winning percentage. My apologies. A 320 winning percentage on the road. That is really bad.
Oh, well, what that tells me is that you're losing every series on the road, because typically series are 3 games on the average, which means you're losing almost every series on the road. Now, granted, there's 4-game series, there's 2-game series, and I get that, but on the average, it means that you're playing a 3-game series, and you're losing it 2-1 every time.
Yeah, by average. So, one other thing, one other entail that we have to post that we have to entail is Michael Fulmer now being placed on the 10-day disabled list with a left oblique strain. He is now officially untradeable, and now he's stuck with the Tigers again, and that's got to be bad.
Well, excuse me, he's struggled this year.
Yeah.
Maybe this is something that has been nagging at him for a long time. The timing of it's relatively convenient as far as being very close to the trade deadline. So maybe the Tigers were trying to see if he could work through it, if he could just have it heal through general use and physical therapy. Didn't happen, and so he's been put on the disabled list. What this does is it effectively shuts down a lot of the trade talk, because there aren't a lot of teams that are looking to trade for a pitcher who's on the DL. There's not a market out for a lot of those guys. So what that means is that Michael Fulmer is not going to get traded in all probability, and now he gets the rest through the trade deadline, and he'll be able to come back later. And then,
oh boy, a bit of a transmission delay on. Yep.
And guys that played through injury this season, more than a lot of them, it makes no sense. Michael Fulmer, if he was indeed hurt before, and they finally were able to get him on the DL, if he was the one that was playing through it and trying to get through it, boy, you just weren't getting anywhere this year. So you probably wanted to take a rest and do what you can do after everything heals up. And if it's the other way around, they are asking him to throw and things he can work through it. The Tigers trading staff has come under fire a couple of times for guys that haven't really either recovered fully from an injury or have come back too fast because they've been told they're right. And we don't want this to happen again with Michael Fulmer. So if he indeed is hurt, they should tell him that he doesn't have to come back until he feels he's 100%. If that means going through a start, if that means doing something else so that he can get back into the stride, I would highly recommend that rather than pushing him back after he gets back from the disabled list. throw again, because rest might not be the only thing that he needs. I mean, if he's got something going on with his back, that means mechanically there could be something going on. If he's pitching while he was hurt or if he was sore, that's going to affect his mechanics, which could lead to the injury. So a lot of different things in play there, but what it boils down to is that Michael Fulmer needs to get healthy. Probably won't be traded because it's hard to trade a guy, at least get any sort of attractive offer when he's on the DL. And we'll see what happens the next year.
Yep. We'll have to see what happens in the off season, as a matter of fact. So, that's episode 325 of the Week in Review. Before we sign off, we want to remind everyone to share this episode on our entire podcast on social media and have all their friends share that as well, because we want to tell them that the Michigan Sports Truth podcast is searching for a wider online audience that is fans of sports. So please spread the word about the Michigan Sports Truth podcast on Spreaker, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, via iTunes, and Spotify, its Facebook page, and its Twitter handle at Michigan_Truth. I'm Taylor Phillips. Follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips and Buck Geno at Buck Geno, the third, 3 eyes for Roman numerals. We'll talk to you next week on episode 326 of the Week in Review.
Yeah. See you later, man.
Yep. Thanks for listening, downloading, and sharing. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.
The Michigan Sports Truth podcast does not represent or defame any of the teams it covers. It only detects, exposes, and reveals honest, actual, and hidden truth, facts, and statistics about them.
And mission complete.